First things first, good morning. So now that I'm entering week 3 of my body composition mesocycle, I will be adding variations to the main exercises and some of the accessory exercises for each of these lifts. So Mondays have been my squat day. I've been doing compound sets of, or supersets rather, of squat and deadlift. I was experiencing a little bit of lumbar tension even earlier in the first set, so it wasn't the volume that was the issue. More than likely it was some type of residual tension due to static posture throughout the day and the like. So I modified my primary exercise to be a variation of a front squat for this week and for next week called a zombie squat, in which you keep your shoulders in full flexion, try and keep your elbows extended as well, although that becomes significantly harder at higher intensities. So for today's session, I wanted a primary anterior dominancy for my squat pattern to both alleviate that lumbar tension and to get more of a quad focused kind of mechanical tension, at least for this body composition cycle. So in order to help ameliorate that, I started my dynamic warm-up with Jacob's ladder, taking out the arm component whatsoever for the coordination of the pattern. That way I can focus a lot more on the knee extension and a little bit of plantar flexion as well to get some reciprocal inhibition for my tibialis anterior, so I can get a deeper level of dorsiflexion in the bottom of my squat. I followed that up with an antagonist inhibition for hamstring, so a lot more knee flexion, similar to the plantar flexion on the Jacob's ladder. Again, just to kind of innervate my antagonist to allow my agonist to get through a little bit more range of motion in this case, similar to what static stretching would do, but in a non-detrimental manner. I also modified my dynamic warm-up with my mobilization, utilizing a slosh pipe, as you've seen in some of my videos before, kind of adding a dynamic stabilization piece. In this case, I wanted to make sure that as I moved sagittally and as I did different static holds, that the movement of the water and my adaptation through compensation to that movement would help kind of innervate those smaller muscles in my lumbar spine or near my pelvis on the posterior side. So a lot more of my quadratus lumborum, a lot more of my multifidus, just to get them more activated. And that ended up working quite a bit. So I had no lumbar tension or lumbar fatigue throughout my squats. I was at a much higher intensity for these squats as well. Even though the weight was lower, with this variation of the movement pattern, I haven't trained it enough to be able to lift as heavy as I could in a back squat. And then I'm also limited by my ability to keep isometric shoulder flexion with that amount of intensity kind of sitting on my anterior delt. So instead of doing the 15 reps that I was doing, I only ended up doing 5 with about 1 to 2 repetitions in reserve by the ability of maintaining that posture with my shoulders. Although my quads didn't get the same level of fatigue in that movement pattern, they did get innervated to the extent that I wanted them to. And I was able to achieve the overall mechanical tension with my accessory exercises. I modified those as well. So I still did the 270-pound leg press for 20 reps. In this case, I compensated that with knee extension, utilizing a resistance band on the bottom of the leg press machine, which offered me the appropriate angle to basically get a good range of motion for that knee extension. I followed that up by an Atlas carry medicine ball lunge set, about doing 20 meters of 25 pounds. Atlas carry again being that I basically held the weight in a front position, not necessarily racked, but held to me. It was a fantastic session. I definitely felt it where I wanted to feel it. So it's good for the overall physical literacy. And I'll be modifying, as aforementioned, my main exercises as well as some of my other accessory exercises for the rest of this week. After this week, however, for the next 2 weeks, due to the training location I will be at, I don't intend on recording any videos for my training sessions. However, I'll still record or still make posts rather of how it went and things of that nature. I enjoy making these videos quite a bit, and I enjoy your feedback. I appreciate all the feedback as well, and I hope each of you have a good day. Thank you.
Metabolic.